Hello, friends. This is your friend Elsie again for Lent reading. So let's continue. Our first reading is from John 13 to 17. Go.
Before the Passover celebration, Jesus knew that his hour had come to leave this world and return to his Father. He had loved his disciples during his ministry on earth, and now he loved them to the very end. It was time for supper, and the devil had already prompted Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything, that he had come from God and would return to God. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. When Jesus came to Simon Peter, Peter said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You don't understand now what I am doing, but someday you will." "No," Peter protested, "you will never, ever wash my feet." Jesus replied, "Unless I wash you, you won't belong to me." Simon Peter explained, "Then wash my hands and head as well, Lord, not just my feet." Jesus replied, "A person who has bathed all over does not need to wash, except for the feet, to be entirely clean. And you disciples are clean, but not all of you." For Jesus knew who would betray him. That is what he meant when he said, "Not all of you are clean." After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, "Do you understand what I was doing? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, because that's what I am. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. I tell you the truth, slaves are not greater than their master, nor is the messenger more important than the one who sends the message. Now that you know these things, God will bless you for doing them."
Okay, so that's our first reading, and I just really find it funny that with Saint Peter, with the Apostle Peter, he's like all or nothing kind of guy. Like he said, Jesus, no, I want you to wash my feet. And then Jesus said, well, if you're going to believe in me, I'm gonna have to wash your feet. And he's like, well, go ahead, wash my whole body. And I thought that was really funny how he's that type of person. He's all or nothing type of person. And then towards the end, God is kind of saying that that we're all equal. We're all the same. He said slaves are not greater than their master. So if you're feeling insecure about who you are, just know that God sees you as He sees everybody else. Okay? So let's go. So we're done with that. I'm going to check that. And then we're going on our second reading, which is 1 Corinthians 11:23 to 26. Again, it's 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 23 to 26. Go.
"For I pass on to you what I received from the Lord himself. On the night when he was betrayed, the Lord Jesus took some bread and gave thanks to God for it. Then he broke it in pieces and said, 'This is my body, which is given for you. Do this to remember me.' In the same way, he took the cup of wine after supper, saying, 'This cup is the new covenant between God and his people, an agreement confirmed with my blood. Do this to remember me as often as you drink it. For every time you eat this bread and drink this cup, you are announcing the Lord's death until he comes again.'"
Okay, so that actually is the verses that we read during communion. When I was still in the Philippines and my church would do communion, that those are the verses that we read. Take this, the bread as my body, and then the wine, as my blood. So that's what we read during communion time. Okay, so we're done with that second reading. I'm gonna check it. And then mm, go back. And then we're going to our third reading.